Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Elets Diagnostic Leadership Summit, the fourth India edition. And the theme for this time is Decoding Futuristic Diagnostic Sector. After the inaugural session, now we have an industry presentation, and the industry presentation is by Mr. Kushal Bansali, Country Manager, TigerGraph, and his presentation is on improving customer experience with connected data. I would like to welcome Mr. Bansali on the screen. Welcome, Mr. Bansali.
Thank you, Tarana.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today for the industry presentation. And I would now hand over the thing to you for your presentation.
Thank you so much, Tarana. Thank you, everybody. And I think it was a very good inaugural session, and I was really happy. Dr. Kocher, Dr. Gore, and Mr. Jory talking about the future and especially a lot of controls around this industry and how it is helping. And I think the core of this whole discussion was around customer and customer experience. And I have tried keeping my presentation around that. Can we have the slides, please? Okay, thank you, Raman. So what I'm trying to do here is basically I'm going to talk about how connected data can actually help you with your bettering your customer experience, and we use graph technology for that. I'm Kushal. I take care of India country business. And when we talk about graph, we are actually using a three-step process where we're talking about how do you connect your data. Your data could be lying in your various systems, various business system. You may have something for leads, you maybe have something for outbound, you may be having something for partners, you may have a lab sample collections, you may have a lab information system where all the reports are being done, you may be nurturing a lot of contacts, working, sending the offers. These different systems are there. How do you connect those system data, analyze it, and learn things from that, and see that how do you use it for your benefit, and definitely ultimately passing the benefit to customer and improving the customer experience. Can we move to the next slide? And as I said, we use the graph as the technology. And when we talk about the graph as a technology, what is graph as a technology? It's nothing but it's a way of connecting data. And when I say connecting data, you're connecting data about people, places, and thing. And actually, it actually helps you to come up with some sort of a more of a insight, which actually help you to forecast behavior, and you can take actions based on that. And can we move to the next slide, please? And when I say graph, we all think like graph in our mind, and the graph technology works on the same thing. On the screen you can see there is a small illustration how a city, Paris. There is a museum in that. There is a painting in that. There is a painter attached to that. Few people love Paris. Few people love the painting. Few people love the painter. That painter has done many other paintings. When you look at this, it gives you a very quick idea who likes what, who is connected with him, who is friend with whom, who likes city. And this you can see. If I give you the same data in a tabular format in Excel or something, you may take 5-10 minutes to actually understand that, and possibly still may not think like this, what you can see on the screen. And that is the power we are utilizing, connecting this data and getting you insight which can actually help you better your customer experience. And when I say graph, I'm not talking about the typical graph we have done in our schools, and in our presentation we generally use it for monthly reports and those things. Can we move to the next slide, please? And why it is important? Because as the business is growing, market is becoming tougher. Digitization has happened, a lot of data has come in, and thanks to COVID, it has actually changed all the parameters, all the games, all the factors, and changed the world like crazy. And no wonder that Gartner feels that when you look at these things, as I said, distributed ones, how do you connect? And graph is something which actually relates everything, and that's why this is one of the topmost trend last year and continues this year as well. Next slide, please. And when we look at this, how serious is this? In 2021, we are talking about 10% of the data and analytics projects using graph. But by 2025, the prediction is it will go to 80%. That means we are talking about a 800% growth, which is, I never heard any other technology growing at this speed. That's fantastic. And that's why no wonder the another Gartner analyst is talking about to graph or not graph is not the question. You will graph. How quickly you think about that, how quickly you align your business and bring graph as a technology in the business, that will decide how do you stay on the curve as compared to your competition. Next slide, please. And one small example, there are many, but I'm just using one small thing. For example, your business is a I will say word of mouth business. customer experience business and your partner business, and doctors who prescribe those tests, and they refer you actually as the lab. And when they do that, you have this data in your system. Like we have lab information management, we have other tools, lead systems, a lot of other system. But how do I see who is my most influential say guy who refers me? And there's a screen you can see this guy is referred by, the same guy is referred by two different people, but this the Douglas, he has actually referred more people. And you can do this quickly. You can see at any given point of time. So tomorrow, if you're looking at the best of the partners, best of the doctors, best of the hospitals actually supporting you, how do you find that out, and how do you work on something for them quickly? And at the same time, tomorrow, if something is happening in market and COVID has come and that hospital is under whatever reason not available, the doctor is not available, how it is going to impact your business, you should be able to look at that and look at alternate way of handling that. I'm just giving you one. This is actually related somewhere supply chain type of thing, where one component is not there, how it impacts. You can actually do that scenario very quickly and do that. And why we are talking about it helps, because it gives you a connection, and because of that connection, you have more understanding about data, and you know the impact, positive and negative both. And no wonder when you look at doing these things, your thought process about looking at data, and the deeper you can go in data and insights which are available, which are not available in a typical tabular format, maybe in Excel or maybe an Oracle or SQL type of databases. Sorry, I'm going a little technical, but that actually helps you. And that is the way a lot of AI and ML projects are actually using this graph algorithms in the backend, and using this as a base for their models, and they are getting the benefit out of this. Let's move to the next slide, please. And very quickly, I don't want this to sound a technical thing, but typically your Excel, your Oracle, SQL, they store data which is required for your typical data, what you do in your specific business system. That's perfectly fine, and they are meant for that. But when you're looking at finding out relationships, you need graph as a technology, because it is not about data, it is about connection between the data points. And that's why graph is gaining the momentum. And by 2025, they're talking about 80% projects need to use the graph as a supporting technology. Can we move to the next slide, please? What is TigerGraph? We are basically a US based company in California. We started in 2012. Our commercial product came in 2018. Uh, the major points, if you look at why we are doing good, basically we are 40 to 300 times faster than other technologies. You can name any technology, and we are minimum 40% faster than the next technology when you're looking at connecting this data and getting insights. A typical relational databases cannot compete in this space. And why it is important? Because the type of insights we are giving to AI and ML models, and that's the reason, if you're really thinking of I heard the earlier speakers talking about it, AI and ML and predictive thing. When they talk about this, the models are very important. Models are the base of that, and this is basically foundation for that. With the type of insight it provides you, your AI model can do wonders on that. And the beauty of the solution is this can work as a real-time system also, apart from analytics. So that's OLTP and OLAP both, where the same database can be used for bringing your data and doing the analytics at the real time. And I'm not going in the other technical stuff, but major, if you look at our customers, they are into the financial services, healthcare, telco. So look at there's a whole breadth of businesses which are using is, because customers are core for almost every business. And diagnostic market is the business is no different than that. Can we move to the next slide, please? This is one example. This is not exactly related to diagnostic only, but United Health Group is sorry, my formatting has gone a little bad because of online sharing. Please bear with that. United Health actually runs the world's largest health graph on our platform. 60 70 million customers, 24,000 customer care executives, 8,000 at any given point of time. And when somebody calls them, this is what graph shows them, the full screen. It could be done for a particular person, for a family, or a group of people. You can do it quickly. Their call timings have gone down by almost 60 70%, and the customers are really happy, because they don't need to tell many things, and customer care executive don't need to go in system and look for data, because data is connected and you can see it on the screen. We can share more details. If you're interested, reach out to me, and we can go in detail on that. Can we move to the next slide, please? And how do we do this? When you look at United Health, they have 200 plus different data systems. We are just talking about two, three, four, five. There are 200 different countries, different systems. They acquired many companies, 200 system. We bring all this data and connect. When we bring the data, we connect. The next step, when we look at, we analyze the data. And when we analyze and give them those ideas, and what they're doing is, first time when they connect, analyze, see that these are the things make sense to us, they are actually using that learning, and now actually telling system to do those things at their own, and they become their machine learning models going forward. So every time, you don't need to get into that. Once you confirm that these are the findings and I like these findings, it can become a ongoing learning process for your system, and it does those findings for them, and analyze data for them. I can move to the next slide, please. And typically, when we look at your business is not different than any other business. Only thing here is, uh, when a person is going for a test, you try to understand his psychological condition. It could be because of a disease, or it could be in COVID scenarios. He's anxious that what report is going to come. Anyway, he's troubled. He's not in a normal retail where he's buying a shoe. It's a very different stressed environment. How do you ensure that you take care of him? So your customer acquisition, which is a typical case for you B2B, where people refer you, hospitals, doctors, or other partners. Second is B2C. How do you get more? Because you all know that B2C is more profitable, though it takes little effort, but more because there's no sharing in that. That's your customer actually. Those are acquisition part. Then what you're talking about is, how do you deal with them? How do you send the offers to them? How do the sample collection happen? How informed they are? And tomorrow, if there is any breakage anywhere in terms of your supply chain, when I say supply chain, I'm not using a typical supply chain, but your sample collection is a good example of supply chain. When they book a order, somebody has to go. Now imagine those tubes are not there, or a solution is not there, or a sticker is not there. Imagine, your entire test is actually on hold, or possibly the customer experience is dented because they don't like you doing a shady job in doing some makeshift type of thing. How anything not being in place can impact your business, and your flow. How do you book, which week, which time of the year, month, week, day, how the flow is there. You should be able to work on that and ensure that anything which is not available out. And the result deliveries, when your result deliveries are happening, reference and repeat business you're looking. Why will a customer do repeat business with you? Because one, you keep his experience better, and you add value. Value add is, he's doing a test, he finds something, in you find something in that. There are other customers who did the same test, and possibly did more tests to support that. You can recommend that because other customers are doing it. This is called the customer recommendation, service recommendation. You can do that, and this you can do on the fly. Once initially the models are set, it can become you don't need many manual intervention in that. You can do that. Where do you open your service locations? Because you have to be financially viable, but at the same time, you should be we are all spoiled today as a customer. The 10-minute grocery delivery happening, 30-minute food delivery happening. Service locations play important. Where do you do that? How fast you can come up with that, and how fast you can change it if it is required. Lab maintenance audit, very valid point raised by the earlier speakers, very important. How do you relate data? How do you learn which equipment is going to die, or in malfunctioning, giving wrong results, or may give wrong results? So predictive maintenance, connecting data, it can tell you something which went bad last month in some other lab. If there is a similar type of thing coming real time, it can tell you this machine is going to go bad, or its results may get be may be wrong, because it's showing the same type of data. Otherwise, you do a postmortem, right? Sitting on data, maybe after 15 days, that this machine was supposed to go down, and it went down. Here, basically, you can stop that. And supply chain, I'm not going in detail in that. Prashad tried covering it. Same thing, we are using the graph database in the backend to ensure that how a particular component being impacted, how it impacts your business. It could be a location not available, it could be a particular material not available, it could be a particular situation in a particular area. How does it impact your business? It could be because of the material, or because of the customer segment in that area. How fast you can do that? These are the particular areas where graphs can help you quickly. Can you move to the next slide, please? I'm going a little faster in interest of time, but wherever you feel you have interest, please reach out to us and we can have a follow-up session later. I just tried putting it in a context where we are saying about it. Once you have all your data, as I said, various data sources you bring, create a knowledge graph so you can very easily see your partners, how your partners are connected with customers, how your customers are connected together, how they are connected with the type of test, how those tests are related to other stuff. And when you know these things, you can actually take decisions very fast. You can create your model to send recommendation or predict and say that how I can make these things better. On the same time, communities, finding communities, it could be the good doctors, it could be the good partners, it could be the good areas, it could be the good customers who can get you more customers. And the same time, uh, nobody wants that, but there could be a bad situation also. Some partner may not be good, he may be behaving bad. What is the impact he is going to create, what business impact he will do, how he's connected, which are his area, his customer coming through other partner. So that partner is stronger, can I focus on him to ensure that if this partner doesn't work with me, I can still retain my customer, because that's your ultimate goal. You can do that very fast. You already have the data, you just need to work on that, and graph can actually help you find that, and clusters for finding out your locations. Recommendation engine, we already did that, because depending on the area, type of diseases, test, doctors, you can actually take a call and suggest the additional test, or possibly some test where it happens for one person, you can recommend that they should do it for family or close relatives, something, because sometimes that is the way, the more things are discovered, you can actually recommend that. And that is the way you get more business, and customers sometimes appreciate that, because you're helping them. They are not facing this every day, it's a new thing for them, and you come from that background, you can suggest that. And outcome, as we rightly said, the overall experience. One, you're talking about the call center side, which United Health I gave. And second is basically, how do you send the marketing campaigns? Because I don't want to get 10 messages from you coming every day. I want to get a very targeted one message, two message, maybe a day or maybe in a week. And how do you ensure that I get my message, unless you work on my data and a lot of other things, and you can send me the right offer? We as a customer don't like it, right? Every bank, every hospital, every lab, every site sending us messages, we don't like it. We want the pointed one, and where this is targeted to me as a person in a particular way. I would love that. And that's the way this whole thing works. Can move to the next slide, please. And very quickly, if you can see my screen on the left hand side, where we're talking about how your lab partners location, there are various tests, because you don't do all tests at all locations, right? On labs, actually, all partners don't deal with those things, how they are connected, what are the chemical solutions, components which are required for doing that, and who are the suppliers that. So hypothetically, just look at the yellow dots on the supplier side. Imagine three of your suppliers who supply majority of your component, which constitute to maybe a major part of your business, and the area they belong to, hypothetically Andhra, and there is a flood in that area. How quickly you can see that if tomorrow there is a flood warning coming in, how does it impact my business? And if you have something like this, you can quickly go and see that the Andhra is not there. You can see the chain, how it is going to impact you. So we have customers who used to take 2 to 3 weeks to do those scenarios. Now they do it in 30-35 minutes, because of this connected data. And second is basically the route optimization and distribution. May not be very relevant the way it is relevant to other businesses, but in your case, when I'm actually asking for a test and somebody is coming to pick up my sample, imagine the anxiety I'm having. And if I know where the person is, when he's going to come, and nobody has time nowadays, right? You can't say 7 to 9 somebody will drop in. Nobody's going to sit for 2 hours for you. If you can show them where the person is, that is one. Definitely a lot of apps do that. But how do you find out the best routes? How do you align it in a way that your person who is doing that job, either for dropping samples to the lab in best way, or collecting samples, how do you do that? Best routes, and these routes can change every day because of the situations you face in the normal life. You should be able to do that very quickly. So what we are talking here is basically, you already have data, you're already working on that. we are actually bringing this connected data capability through Graph and giving you some extra insights which you can use and use it as a edge over the other companies who we are not use we have who haven't started using it. They will use it maybe another 2 years time or 1 year's time. How do you quickly go there? So I think we are still in the time. Taranum, we have a few more minutes, or we are good?
We have a minute more, sir. A minute more we can take.
Can you go to the next slide, please? So these are my details. My contact number, my email ID is there. If anybody is interested in knowing more about these things, use cases, please feel free to reach out. We'll be sending you a thank you message where my details will be there, and I'll try to send you some relevant material. But if you need more, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you, Taranam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pansali. That was a wonderful presentation. In fact, you shared some very wonderful insights on the topic improving customer experience with connected data. Because as we all realize that post-pandemic data has become the buzzword and it's become a very important word.
Correct.
And yes, customer experience plays a very key role in that. Thank you so much for your presentation. And can we have the speaker certificate for him, please? The backend team, if you can show the certificate. That's a token of gratitude for Mr. Bhansali, Country Manager TigerGraph. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing time and coming for the event. And it's an
Thank you
honor to
so
listen
much.
to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I really appreciate the opportunity given to me to be part of this. Thank you so much, and
Thank
you
you so
have
much, sir.
good today and tomorrow. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.